I still remember the exact moment my world shattered. I was standing in my parents' living room, the same room where we'd opened Christmas presents and blown out birthday candles for 28 years. My hands were trembling as I held the phone. My mother's voice cold on the other end. "Sarah, we know what you did. Your sister told us everything. Don't come home. We're done supporting you." The line went dead. Just like that. 5 years ago. My name is Sarah, and this is the story of how my own sister's lie destroyed my life. And how, years later, I became the only person who could save hers. We grew up in a picture-perfect family on the outside. Mom was a retired teacher. Dad ran a successful small business. My younger sister Mia was always the golden child, outgoing, the one who could charm her way out of anything. I was the responsible older sister, the one who studied hard, worked part-time through college, and tried to make everyone proud. I thought we had each other's backs. I was wrong. It started with money. My parents had helped both of us through college. But after graduation, they set up a trust fund for emergencies and future stability. I never asked for much. I was building my own career in marketing, living modestly, and saving every penny. Mia, on the other hand, loved the finer things. Designer bags, spontaneous trips, a lifestyle that looked perfect on Instagram. One weekend I came home for a family dinner and noticed something was off. Mia seemed nervous, avoiding eye contact. Later that night, my parents sat me down with devastated expressions. They said Mia had confessed that I'd been secretly taking money from the family account for months, thousands of dollars, that I had a gambling problem and was too ashamed to admit it, that I'd even forged documents. I sat there in absolute shock. What? I never touched that money. Mia, tell them the truth. But my sister looked at me with tears in her eyes and said softly, "Sarah, I tried to cover for you, but they found the statements. I can't lie anymore." My parents believed her instantly. Why wouldn't they? Mia had always been their fragile, emotional baby. They cut me off completely. No more financial support, no access to the family home, and worst of all, no belief in my innocence. They told me I needed to figure myself out, and that until I got help for my problem, I wasn't welcome back. I left that house in tears, my heart completely broken. How could my own sister do this? I replayed every conversation in my head, searching for clues. Later, I learned the truth. Mia had been draining the account for her lavish lifestyle and needed a scapegoat. When my parents started asking questions, she chose me, her big sister, the one who had protected her since we were little. The first few months were pure hell. I lost my apartment because I couldn't afford rent without the family support I'd quietly relied on for emergencies. I slept on friends' couches. I ate cheap noodles and cried myself to sleep every night. The betrayal cut so deep I could barely breathe. My own flesh and blood had thrown me under the bus to save herself. But something shifted inside me during those dark nights. The pain turned into fuel. I refused to let her lie define me. I worked 2 jobs, took on freelance gigs at night, and slowly rebuilt my life from nothing. I moved to a new city, poured everything into my career, and within 3 years I had a stable job, my own place, and a quiet strength I never knew I possessed. I thought I was finally healing. I thought the past was behind me, until that phone call came. It was my mother, voice shaking in a way I'd never heard before. "Sarah, it's Mia. She's in the ER. It's serious. The doctors say she needs a very specific blood match and you're the only compatible donor they can find in time. Please, we have no one else." 5 years of silence. 5 years of being erased from their lives. And now they needed me. My heart pounded as I stood in my apartment, staring at the phone. Part of me wanted to hang up. Part of me wanted to scream, "Where was this love when you believed her lies?" But another part, the part that had once loved my sister more than Anything felt something stir. I didn't know it yet, but this was the moment everything would come full circle. The drive to the hospital felt like a dream. Streetlights blurred past as memories flooded back. I remembered Mia as a little girl, how she'd crawl into my bed after nightmares. I remembered defending her when kids at school teased her. I remembered believing we were unbreakable. Now I was driving toward the woman who had shattered my entire world with one calculated lie. When I arrived at the hospital, my parents were waiting in the hallway. They looked older, tired, broken. Mom's eyes filled with tears the second she saw me. Dad couldn't even meet my gaze at first. "Sarah?" Mom whispered, reaching out like she wanted to hug me but didn't dare. "Thank you for coming," they said. Without the right transfusion and possible bone marrow match, she might not make it through the night. I kept my voice steady even though my chest felt like it was caving in. "What happened to her?" They explained Mia had been in a serious car accident. She'd been driving recklessly, probably another impulsive decision, and suffered internal bleeding. Her blood type was rare, and mine was a near-perfect match. The doctors needed my plasma and potentially more if things got worse. I sat in the waiting area while they ran tests on me. My mind was racing. This was the ultimate irony. The sister who destroyed me now needed me to survive. Where was her charm now? Where were all the friends she posted about on social media? A nurse finally called me in. As I lay there while they drew blood, I thought about all the nights I'd spent wondering if my family would ever believe me. The holidays I spent alone. The quiet shame I carried even after I'd rebuilt my life. Later, the doctor came out with an update. Mia was stable for now, thanks to the first round, but she was asking to see me. My parents looked at me with desperate hope. I walked into her room slowly. She looked so small in that hospital bed, pale, bruised, nothing like the glamorous girl from the photos. When her eyes met mine, fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. Her voice was weak. "You came." I stood at the foot of the bed, arms crossed, protecting the heart that had been broken for so long. "I did." She started crying harder. "I'm so sorry. I was stupid and selfish. I never meant for it to go this far. I was scared Dad would cut me off completely and I panicked. I threw you under the bus because I knew they'd believe me. It was the worst mistake of my life." The room felt heavy with silence. I could see my parents standing just outside the door, listening. I finally spoke, my voice trembling with years of suppressed pain. "Do you have any idea what you did to me? I lost everything. My home, my sense of safety, my family. I had to start over completely alone while you kept living your perfect little life." Mia sobbed. "I know. I watched you from a distance. I was too ashamed to reach out. Every time Mom and Dad mentioned you, I changed the subject. I destroyed us. And I don't deserve your help. But I'm begging you, please don't let me die with this guilt." In that moment, something powerful shifted inside me. The old Sarah, the one who would have forgiven instantly, was gone. I had spent 5 years becoming someone stronger, someone who no longer needed their approval to feel worthy. I told her the truth I'd been carrying. "I forgave myself a long time ago. I built a life you know nothing about. A good life. And now you're here, asking me to save you after you tried to ruin me." The tension in the room was thick. My parents stepped in, both crying now, apologizing, saying they should have listened, that they regretted everything. But I wasn't ready to give them the easy ending they wanted. I looked at my sister lying there, so vulnerable, and I made a choice. I agreed to do everything the doctors needed. I stayed for the additional procedures. I gave her the gift of life that night, but it wasn't forgiveness without truth. After the doctors confirmed she was out of immediate danger, I sat with my family and spoke the words I'd rehearsed in my heart for years. "I saved her life tonight not because you asked me to, but because I refused to become the monster she tried to make me. I choose to be better than what was done to me. But understand, this trust is gone. You believed the worst about me without even giving me a chance to defend myself. That kind of betrayal doesn't disappear overnight. My mother broke down, apologizing through sobs. My father admitted they'd been blind, that Mia had manipulated them with tears and lies for years. They begged me to come back into their lives. I told them I would think about it, but I also made one thing very clear. Mia needed to tell the entire extended family the truth. No more secrets. No more protecting her image. She had to own what she did. In the weeks that followed, Mia recovered slowly. She kept her promise. She posted a long, honest message explaining what she had done. She called relatives, one by one. The family that had turned their backs on me slowly began reaching out with shame and regret. My parents started making real changes, therapy for all of them, financial restitution for what I lost, and most importantly, respecting the boundaries I set. I didn't move back home. I didn't suddenly become best friends with Mia, but I allowed a careful, honest relationship to begin again on my terms. Looking back now, I realized the greatest revenge wasn't refusing to help her and still keep her peace. The lie that once destroyed me eventually exposed the truth. It forced my family to confront their own failures, and it showed me how strong I truly am. If you're watching this and you've been betrayed by someone you loved especially, family, please hear me. Your pain is real. The heartbreak is valid, but you are not defined by their lies. You have the power to rebuild, to rise, and to choose who you become on the other side of the darkness. I chose strength. I chose truth. And in the end, that was the most powerful revenge of all. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, you are enough. Even when the people who should love you most try to convince you otherwise. Until next time, take care of your heart.